Moving from hard to easy life. I'm Brian Withers, empowerment coach, trainer, and author. Well, many people use the word life is hard, or this is hard, or difficult, struggle. I hear it often in my coaching calls, particularly in the first call, and then we work away from that to why life is easy and how it is that we live our life in the easy way it's set up to be lived. I also hear that word in the comments here on these YouTube videos. People are mentioning that word in the context of life. And, you know, what's going on? Because the universe has set this up to be so extraordinarily easy for us, joyous, effortless in so many ways that all the ways that we want to live our life are meant to be that easy way. So what has happened to us? What has happened that makes us use that word? We feel so compelled to say it's hard, and we believe it to be hard or difficult or a struggle. Let's look at that. Let's look at what has gone on that has brought us into that mindset versus the natural easy mindset. Now, this image is out of my first book, Higher Vibrations for Health, Happiness, and Harmony. And the reason I put that in there, and it's in the first part of the book, is because I wanted to really give the spirit of what the book is about, and that is that we got dished out a lot of faulty beliefs as a child, and we took those in, and then our life followed that path of faulty beliefs. We're out of alignment, and the things that we've done along the way are all that way. And that's why people are getting there now, where it's like, I'm just fed up with the way that I've been living my life, or life is, and not having it the way that I want to, and so on and so forth. And, coming and looking for answers. How do I get a better life going, basically, in some way, one way or another? And so I wanted to impress that book was intended to build the bridge, build the steps between the road that we got on with faulty beliefs and our natural belief road, our high vibration road. You see, that's always available to us. It's always within us, but those faulty beliefs kind of get in the way and redirect us into a faulty belief life. And that's what makes everything feel hard to us. And so let's just take a quick look at how that all develops and how it carries on into our adult life, and then where we get to the point where we want it to be different. So when we're born, we could go on one of two roads, and it just depends on how we're influenced. Now, we know how life works coming in. We have that knowing within us. Our inner being knows it, always with us. And it's how life works and why we came here for joyous expansion, how that all works, how desire is born and easily turns to physical things, who we are, the wholeness of who we are, why everything happens in our life as it does, everything mirrors our vibration. You see, we know all that, and that makes it a really, really pleasant, easy life, because we can interpret everything as happening in relation to our vibration and how it gives us awareness about what we want, and then that's created for us by our inner being, and then we're just in that cycle of joyous expansion, and it's all good. So that's the natural road. But you see, and that's where it would be easy, and that's why I always say life is easy. It's easy to feel good all the time. It's easy to have your life flow in easy ways all of the time, and that's the perspective that I'm speaking from. And I understand, when you look at life from a faulty belief perspective, it's not that way at all. And if you don't have the knowledge of life, then even when I say it, and even in some of these videos, and people do add comments about, well, what about this? What about that? And, a lot of my response to those kinds of questions are, well, that situation in the details is not very nice details at all, but you got to be able to stand back to the broader perspective and say, even though the details weren't pleasant, number one is, my energy was there. My energy was low, and I literally invited that thing. And so I can change that energy, so I stop inviting that thing. So you see now, rather than just calling it a bad situation, you say, well, I'm empowered now because I'm really responsible for my energy. that I can change it and get something different coming to me. And the fact that I had this experience means my inner being created the better experience that I want, and I can receive that now as I get positively focused. And so that's where the joy factor is. Certainly not in the details, because those details aren't going to feel good, a lot of that stuff. And but if we can get to the broader perspective and how it's serving us, then we can stay in that joy factor from that perspective. That's very important to know. Okay, so that's really important that we realize why we can feel good all of the time. And then when we work from these faulty beliefs, we don't see that broader perspective. We don't see that our inner being has created something for us. We don't see that the world was a mirror to us. And so we don't want to take responsibility for it. We just think that it's being done to us, and life is hard. There it is, right? We don't know how life works, so it's hard. It's like the child that wants to jump in the water and have fun, but they're afraid to because they've tried it before and it didn't work out so good. They didn't know how to swim, and it got pretty rough, and they got themselves out of the water, and it's like, now they're never going back in there again, unless you give them some education and you show them, look, if you do it like this, here's how you can do it, and you bring them along with education and knowledge. A couple of months later, that child is jumping in the water for joy, and it's all kinds of fun, whereas before it was a miserable, hard experience. So we can see that if we get the education and we know how to use it, then it's going to turn life into an easy experience, as it did the swimming for the child. So without that knowledge, I just want to go down the road, the faulty belief, and why we just get piled up with life being hard, because you see, once we don't get the influence growing up that we're born with natural gifts and talents and really unique qualities that are amazing, and passions to use them, you see, we don't get taught that because the people before us don't know it. They don't have that knowledge. And so they can't teach us what they don't know. They teach us what they do know, which was the faulty beliefs that they grew up with. And so we tend to get that too. And so here we are, we're out of alignment. We're growing up as a child, we're out of alignment. We really don't know how to choose things because we're choosing them based actually on faulty beliefs, which we don't even know we're doing. But it's all out of alignment stuff. So then we're choosing education or work or, whatever we go on to, and all those choices are from faulty beliefs. That's all out of alignment. And so that's not all that much fun either. And then we're meeting people, right? We're with our family or people that we meet for a relationship or friendships or whatever it is, and everybody's out of alignment to some degree. And so we're banging around together out of alignment. Well, of course, that's going to be rough too, right? That's going to be hard. That's why relationships are hard. That's why work tends to be hard. Jobs, business situations tend to be hard because we're taking low vibration energy into them out of alignment. And of course, the law of attraction is acting on that and bringing us back what matches that. So, but it all comes from the very beginning days growing up, where we're out of alignment with who we are and how life works, and then that just multiplies down the line into our life, in our work, our education, our relationships, and then with all that resistance, then that's where ailments come from. You see, when you introduce that low vibration into your body, then your body doesn't like it, and it tells you through an ailment. It says, you're interfering with me looking after myself, so can you please get that low vibration energy out of there? But you don't know that's what it means, and that's what's happening. So what do? You go to the doctor, and the doctor's looking for something in your body, but the source, the root, is not in your body, right? So they give you something for what's going on in your body, or they do something to your body, and they don't deal with the energy misalignment. And so, then now you got other issues that relate to that stuff that they did, and it just keeps piling on through your whole life, one thing after another, misalignment. And then as you get older and you haven't known really how to effectively get rid of that resistance and get back into alignment, then, people tend to get sicker as they get older, and then they die, right? Transition. And that's the faulty belief life. That's the way it has to go. When that happens through life, you're on the faulty belief road of life. And so what I've done is created a staircase through the things that I teach that brings you back to your natural high vibration road, your natural way of living and thinking. And when you do that, then life is easy. You can see how easy that life really is. And that's what you want to know. That's what you want to see it as. And again, you interpret everything from the broader perspective of how it's serving you, how it's mirroring your vibration. And when you don't like what comes back, then you can shift the way you're thinking about it, shift your beliefs, and then you can get a different manifestation coming because you shifted the energy, not because you tried to manifest something, but because you shifted the energy. In other words, you had a desire for something and you were in tune with it when you're in your high vibration life, living your high vibration path, expressing your gifts and talents. So you're doing work that you like to do. You're taking education that you like to take, and you're understanding why things happen as they do. So you're not getting bothered by anything. And it's all very easy for you to interpret it. Everything that's going on, it's very easy for you to interpret it. So it's, again, like that child who got the swimming lesson. So when you get, like, the swimming lessons of life are like the knowledge of life and how to use your conscious thinking mind so that your energy to law of attraction is always going high vibration. And that's what allows everything to flow. So once you're flowing there, then it's like the child jumping in the water and having fun. You jump into life and you'll have fun because you'll know how to navigate everything. You'll know how to interpret it. You'll see everything is serving you. You're not blaming anymore. You're taking responsibility. Oh, that's my energy. That's why that came. And I'm going to shift my energy. I'm going to think differently, maybe about myself, other people, my dreams, whatever it is. But obviously I slipped into some out of alignment energy. And you know that because your inner being's with you and gives you a negative emotion, lets you know that's going on. And so that makes it easy for you to shift. Now, I'm saying easy, but if you've been living the low vibration life, the faulty belief life, then there is there is that staircase to take you to the natural belief life, the high vibration road of life. But it's not something that, you do in a week, unless you've been, poking around at this information and you've been picking pieces up and putting it together, then maybe you just got a few pieces to get. But, you could be at the bottom of the steps, the middle of the steps, the top of the steps. You may be really close to getting back totally in alignment. You may be sort of halfway there. You may be a little bit way there. But what you got to understand is that's a learning process, right? We didn't get that growing up. And it's an education that you just got to get. That's all there's to it. You can't fast track it. There's no fast tracking it. You've got to change the energy within you if you are going to get the manifestations to change. If you're going to get your life to flow in the ways that you want to, the easy way that it's all set up to work for you, you just got to take your time. You got to get the education. You just can't expect to have your energy completely turn around, your faulty belief energy in your subconscious mind. That stuff is not going to just, turn in a day. It's going to take some months to get that to turn. But as you turn it, as you start to displace it by adopting new thought energy through your day, the way that you're thinking about things, yourself, others, all that kind of thing, and it's all in alignment, it starts to change the momentum of the faulty beliefs and deactivates it and starts to activate the natural beliefs. But that is a process of change. That's a process of energy change. And until you get that done, just do not expect to see your life change. It's like the 7 stages. You got to get into stage 4. What I'm talking about here is changing your faulty belief. That's all stage 3 work, and then you get into stage 4, and when you're there solid, then you start to see it starts to become physical in terms of flow, and then trending, and then manifestations. And but just be easy on yourself. Let yourself learn. Let yourself go through the day. And I got the daily emotion tracker. You can track and see how you're doing. Look at your emotions going through the day. Are you getting those cleaned up? Are you getting more positive emotion going on? That means you're using what you learned. Now, if you're not changing the emotional productivity in the day, that's your vibrational productivity, then either you haven't learned the knowledge of life in a way that's letting you use it, or you have and you're just not practicing it in the way that it's there for you to practice. But either one of those things are happening, but your indicator is the daily emotion tracker and the emotion column. That's going to tell you how you're doing in terms of moving along the steps here to getting back to your high vibration life, so that everything is easy. And so again, that daily emotion tracker, if you watch the emotion column, that's a very, very quick indicator that will tell you. And then it also helps you to identify your faulty beliefs. And then you sort of record those, and you record new language that makes those okay, so that they're not bothering you. And then you watch for the deactivation of them over time. And as that happens, then your daily emotion tracker gets more positive emotion in it, because everything in your day, you're looking at it in a better attitude, a better feeling way. You're processing it differently. You're seeing how it's serving you, and you're moving along these steps, you see. And then you will get back to your high vibration life. But, give yourself some time to learn how it works, get the education, and then start living it. Start using your mind in the new ways, and you'll get there. There's no fast track to this, and this is why I talk about manifestation techniques. It's kind of ridiculous when you understand this. So you just can't supersede. I mean, that's what those techniques are about, trying to supersede the energy that you have within you, and maybe you'll get a little bit to go, but it's not what we came for, and it's not a permanent change. It's really just something that will you might get to stick for a little while. But if you want your life to change, if you want it to be easy, the way that you came for, then you got to do the education, and you got to practice the education. And that means really changing your thought energy, your thought patterns and habits in the daytime as you go through your daily life on all things. Watch the kinds of thoughts you're choosing. And as you do that repetitively, then you change the faulty beliefs, and then you get back home. You want to get back home. And when you get home, it's going to be easy. It's all going to be easy. The learning process can be easy if you take your time. I mean, if you thrust a child into a day and you say, oh, come get this swimming lessons in a day, we'll teach you to swim. It's not going to work. They're not going to have fun, and it's going to be hard for them. It's going to be hard to learn, and then they're not going to have good results. So the same thing for you. Give yourself some time to learn and go through the process. And again, the emotion tracker and the 7 stages will help you to know that you are progressing, and then you can see that, and that will give you confidence that you're progressing and getting back home to your natural life where everything is easy. So if you're using the word hard, then you are living in the cave of faulty beliefs, and you may be on the steps to restoring to your natural high vibration life, but you're not giving yourself enough time to learn it and practice it in a comfortable pace that's going to be feel easy to you. So if it's hard, if you're using that word hard or difficult or those kinds of words, then you're forcing too much. You're trying to force things. You're trying to make them happen. Even the education, you're trying to make it happen. You're trying to fast track it or skip it altogether and just get back to your high vibration life. But getting back to your high vibration life is all about displacing those faulty beliefs, and that's all about changing your daily thought patterns and habits to the natural, in alignment, high vibration thoughts that agree with the way that life really is. So if you want to change, move your life, move your thinking from hard to easy, this is the way you do it. Okay, so that's the video for today. Thanks for listening in. If you have any questions, leave them on the post, and enjoy your day.